Hello, everybody. I'm really glad to be with you today for sharing a little bit of my story, a story of a slow entrepreneur. In this fast success world, I choose to take my time for looking at the learning field through a magnifying glass. I spent the 6 past years searching how people learn and bringing innovation to companies and help them to understand learning behaviors inside their companies. My dreams begin like many dreams. I have some problem with my slide. Okay, from a frustration. This is frustrating when the slide doesn't work. So my dream began from a frustration about school, about learning. I always felt frustrated when I was in classroom, when I was learning, because I thought the way people give me learning was not adapted to me. So from my frustration, my dreams grew. And I began to think about how can I change learning. So I came with this dream, giving everyone the possibility to learn. No matter the way you learn, we will give you the right learning path. My dreams began in November 2013, when I came in an open e-education hackathon, 45 hours to create the next e-education product. The first thing I remember when I entered in the hackathon space was feeling a stranger in a strange land. And for understanding that, we need to get back to my origins. I came from a family of immigrants in Algeria. My parents didn't go to school. The first time I heard about jobs like web developer, designer, product owner was at this hackathon. At this time, my view of what my professional life could be was so restrictive. And in fact, I was involved in a work-study program to become personal assistant. So I came to this hackathon, and I see a lot of new world. New people coming from big business school, big management school, from engineering school. I was like Alice in Wonderland. Exciting, but really frightening. But I'm okay with that. I always have known how to adapt myself to every environment. And with my team, we created a draft of a project in 45 hours. So that was okay. And we won the favorite prize given by a big learning company. And you see the photo of my team at this moment. The first year of my entrepreneurial was like amazing. I discovered a bunch of techniques, innovation, buzzwords like AI, collaborative innovation, adaptive environments, and I was really excited. At this time, I thought I had the good way to do things. But things never gone usually how you imagine it. And my first round of entrepreneurial adventure ended by a big disappointment when one of my biggest role models in the learning industry told me to stop what I was doing because they were doing it faster. So at this time, you need to take another direction. You need to change. And for changing, I needed to be mentored. I will not go through this change alone. So I began to search a mentor. This is where I met Dewey. Dewey Wester is a coach on lean startup. Dewey taught me everything I need to create a product that people use and love. But the thing that Dewey learned me the best was to not have a product in my mind, but to have a question, to have hypothesis on how to solve big issues. I was his Padawan, and he was my Yoda. And Dewey was the first Yoda of a long line of Yoda in my professional career. With Dewey, I discovered a new world, a world we call nowadays Startup Nation. You know what I talk about. The Startup Nation is a world full of many things and many rules. So I started to learn these rules. The Startup Nation ecosystem is really complex. You have private and public actors taking you from the idea to growth. So I started to play the game, going to every networking and pitching in front of BA, saying I will revolutionize learning field and I am the next Steve Jobs. And I fulfill some business model. I don't care at this moment if my business model was viable or if the figures I write on it was true, because the ecosystem told you it doesn't matter if it's true, you just have to do it. You have to tell in 3 years how much you will sell, to whom. And they never ask you, how did you validate your hypothesis? How did you go through the path for taking this solution for your problem? So I played the game, but I felt like something goes wrong. And I was feeling a little bit alone and still a stranger. Until I read a paper. I read a paper about the French entrepreneur, and I began to understand why I was feeling a stranger. Because the French entrepreneur is a male, he is 93 years old. He's high graduated. At this time, I was 22. I was low graduated, and I'm still a female. So I was the opposite of the French entrepreneur. This is the first thing that made me understand that I was not a part of this startup nation. The second thing was the perception of success. When I ask entrepreneurs around me, what is success about you? What is your vision of success? They answer me fundraising, having a cool workspace, hiring a lot of people. Sometimes they told me changing the world, but changing the world is something really huge for success. And I felt far from this description. And when they told me about their vision of success, success appears to me like a big wall I could not go through. So I started to be afraid. When I see this game and I play a little bit in it, I quickly refused to play it because I thought it was non-ethic. Those past months, we talk a lot about AI ethic because machines are reproducing our bias, so we need to talk about AI ethic. For myself, I would like to talk about business innovation ethics. What is the responsibility we have in products we create? Can I just say, okay, I need a test to understand how people learn, and I'm going to take some question like that without having methods, a research or scientific methods? No. It seems to be, for me, something really bad. There is a common said in the startup nation. Maybe you heard about it. Fake it until you do it. And what I learned this past years is that many entrepreneurs stop at the fake it part. For example, I read a paper just a few days ago saying that more than 60% of startups saying that they are doing AI in France are in fact not doing AI at all. They are doing algorithm, they are doing databases, but not AI. And I have a big problem with that. I have a big problem because I am the kind of person who is driving by the methods and by scientific methods. I'm not from the scientific field, but I have it in my heart. So at this time, I had to make a choice, taking the blue pill and respecting the rules, continuing to fulfill demand for incubators that will take equity on my company for reaching me to 1 million and creating product that has nonsense and that has no proof of efficacy in the reality, or taking the red pills and continuing to take it slow and accepting that my dreams will not achieve in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, but maybe in 20 years. And maybe it will take more time. Maybe to achieve the time to market, it will make more time. if I am here today, it's because I chose the red pill. So I need to change my system. I need to change all I did, all my vision. So the first thing was to change my vision of success. Some of you in the room receive a type form today with a question: what is your vision of success? Vision of success is really personal, and I will tell you my vision of success, but I will like to share with you some answers that I get from the type form. Some people tell me that their vision of success is happiness and calm. Some others tell me that their vision of success is getting out of their comfort zone. Some of them tell that is money, power, and accomplishment. Others say that success for them is love. So you see, I put 4 answers, and no one is the same. For me, success is inspiring people. If when I go out of this stage, and just one of you tell me that I have inspired her, or his, just a little bit, I will feel successful. For me, success, it's all the steps I did from the 6 past years to come here. For me, success, it's all the steps I did, all the bricks I built for achieving just a part of my dream. So the big wall of success that other entrepreneurs show me become accessible, and I break the wall. The second thing I did to change my system was to ask, who am I? Am I really an entrepreneur? As anyone has the definition of an entrepreneur? Maybe not. So I decided to define myself with 3 words. I am a dreamer, because I dream a lot, really. I have a lot of dreams. I am a creator, because I took my dreams and make them true. And I am a hacker. I am a hacker because when I see a problem, I don't see a problem. I just see a bunch of solutions. And defining me the other ways, not just like an entrepreneur, make me more flexible to choose other vehicles to achieve my dreams. So, ways to be an entrepreneur. In the 6 past years, I used to be entrepreneur in residence. For people who don't know what entrepreneur in residence is, it's really simple. You're an entrepreneur, you have your company, and you're going to work for another company or a non-profit. For me, it was a non-profit. And you're going just to bring your competencies, but you will not stop your company. You will going through your project, but you will help another company. This type of entrepreneurial was for me an answer to security, to have more faith and more security in my entrepreneurial adventure, because this type of adventure are so risky and you could not feel safe sometimes. The other way I changed the way I be an entrepreneur was by adding research methods to my creation process. Dewey, when I first met him, tell me something that made me just crazy. The first Skype I had with him, he told me, Sarah, do you have a project or a solution to your problem? And I say, of course, yes, I have a project, I have a solution. He say, okay, take your solution and throw it. Forget it. We are going to begin from scratch. I say, what? And he say, yes, just not come with a solution. Don't come with a project. Come with experimentation, with question, and with how you're going to answer the question after the solution will come. So I begin to add some research process to my entrepreneurial adventure. This is how I came with slow innovation. I spent 6 years working on how to experiment in companies, in organizations, to create a test that permits us to understand learning behaviors. And I passed 6 years searching this experimentation. And I found it just like at the beginning of this year. And it was really hard, but with this organization, we were able to create together a product that answers a real problem. So research plus entrepreneurial, for me, it's a virtuous circle. This is how it could work. Imagine, you want to solve the problem of school environment in classroom. You put hypothesis. This is what the lean startup methods say. You put an hypothesis. Maybe it's if I put more color in classroom, I will increase by X% the focus of students in my classroom. Okay, then you find school to experiment, and you are going to one school, one classroom, and you put some colors, and you test out, and you try again, and you try again, and you try again, until you came with some data, and with the data, you think about your solution. But what is different in my model, in the model I came with, was to have like a research center, but for startup. Today, we have a lot of public actors that finance projects. I would like that the public actors finance experimentation and not products. This is the first thing. The second thing, I would like that entrepreneurs like me would have access to researchers. I did it for myself. I go to Lyon, to Strasbourg, to Bordeaux, to Millau, to see some researchers, to ask them, I am doing the right thing. Do you have some data in this field? Maybe could help me solving my problems? It was really hard, and some researchers are not really accessible. So if I had some like research center, but for innovators, for startuppers, maybe it could be better. Maybe we could come with products less risky and more efficiency. So 6 years ago, I was dreaming of understanding learning behaviors. I was dreaming of an organization that could say, in my population, I have people that learn in this way, and they need that, and that, and that. And today, thanks to many people, thanks to some experimentation, 6 years after, I came with a V1 of a solution, and I'm really glad. But it's just the beginning. And I know that the road is really long, but dream exists to be shared. And I know that by sharing my dreams every day, by sharing with you today my dream, my ways to achieve my dreams became more important and more real. You see some people in this slide, and this is just a part of all people that contribute to my dream. This is not just my dream. This is a world dream. This is people's dreams, and I'm just a servitor. Someone who just try to put some rigorous in innovation. So I would like to thank those people for sharing with me their belief, their dreams, and the way they succeed, because without them, I will not be here. And I will finish by saying thank you to Swail, that was in my company in internship, and today put me on stage. Thank you very much.